1, 2, 1, 2. So we are at the Atlanta Expo 2025. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
Good, good. So first off, we want to start, man, giving Corey Moore a shout out for making this thing bigger. You know what I'm saying? We went from 50,000 square feet, which was in Cobb County, to now over 100,000 square feet. So I think that deserves a round of applause. So this is the podcast stage. My name is Dr. Ric Mathis, and I'll be facilitating the interview with Joanne here. Joanne is going to be speaking to us about gut health.
Yes.
Now, we had the opportunity to interview you for a docuseries we have coming up called Heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a personal experience where I experienced the Widowmaker. And we're probably about 60 to 70 days out from being out of the hospital. So it's a fresh topic. So,
But he's a survivor.
But I'm surviving.
Right.
Yeah, we got to say that part.
Right.
So introduce yourself and tell the people about gut health, because you're an expert when it comes to gut health.
Sure. I'm going to start by asking for excuse because my voice, I got by my kids.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bug going around.
It's a bug
now.
going around.
But I thank you for showing up.
Of course, of course. My name is Joanne Philman. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. I specialize in gut health, nutrition, and anti-inflammatory therapies. And so I believe that your gut is the gateway to your health. If your gut health or your digestive health is not functioning properly, you're most likely going to develop some kind of disease.
Wow. So that's interesting. So your gut, is that your first brain or your second brain?
You can see it as your second brain.
Okay.
But there's a connection between the brain and the gut.
Yeah. So what is that connection like? Tell us that magical connection between the brain and the gut.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we think of, I don't know if anyone has heard of the brain-gut axis. So when we think of what runs the body, the brain is probably what we think of the most. But our digestive system actually can function a lot on its own without direct signals from the brain. So it has a lot that it does on its own. And as a matter of fact, our gut is so important, and it impacts our brain so much that people don't know that the happy hormone serotonin is predominantly produced in the gut, in your digestive system. So that happy hormone that keeps our mood up, if your gut is not functioning properly, that serotonin level is going to be significantly decreased. And if it's significantly decreased, then it's going to start impacting your brain. And then you're going to notice that your mood, your anxiety level, even depression is connected to this.
So you're telling me that depression is linked to your gut?
It is.
So now let's unpack that. So if I had a bad day, right? How does that affect my gut? And I go into this downward spiral. Right. Where I go into this deep hole.
Right.
How is that connected to my gut? Because I'm like, okay, I know depression is one thing, but your gut is another thing.
Absolutely. I'm going to preface it to say that there's nothing that's absolute. We're not saying here that all depression is directly linked to what's going on with your gut. There's genetic factors that can influence as well. But if you've ever noticed that you, like you said, had a bad day and you go in an immediate funk and you can't get out that funk. Oftentimes it's because you have a lot of imbalance or dysbiosis, as we like to call it, going on in your gut, where you have more bad bacteria than good bacteria that is in the gut. And you're more likely to stay in that funk longer than someone who had a better functioning gut, whose serotonin levels were higher. They're more likely to be in a better mood or to snap out of it quicker than someone who has that low level of serotonin.
Got it. So let's first define the gut. So what is the gut? Where does the gut begin? Where does it end?
Yes. So when we talk about the gut, we're not talking about that bulge, the dad bod.
You're not talking about this?
No.
This isn't my gut?
No. We're talking about your digestive system, and your digestive system starts in the mouth and ends where waste is excreted.
Okay.
So the minute you put food in your mouth, digestion begins, because the salivary glands in our mouth, they have enzymes in there that starts breaking down those foods. And that's why we say chew your foods, because if we're not chewing our foods, what's going to happen is that we're going to give our digestive system harder. Like when it reaches our actual stomach, it's going to be harder for it to process because it didn't start the digestive process in the mouth.
Wow. So that's interesting. So again, we're here at the Atlanta Black Expo
Yes.
at the Georgia World Congress Center.
Yes.
Right in the heart of downtown Atlanta, So this is a big deal, bringing all of these Black-owned businesses together.
Yes.
So talk about eating right, having the right probiotics in your gut for an entrepreneur. So, as an entrepreneur, you have to be really healthy.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, even, with yourself now, you lost your voice.
Right.
But you still had to show up today
Yeah.
because this is an opportunity you don't want to
Right.
miss to talk about and promote your business.
Right.
So it's important as entrepreneurs that we keep our body healthy
Yeah.
and that we're in good shape. So talk about some of the probiotics that we need to consume to ensure that we have a healthy gut as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So it is really important. I mean, as entrepreneurs, we are stressed. We are lacking sleep. I will say that you see my voice is lost. The people in my house, my children, my husband who's in the audience right now, they are sick, but they were sick before I ever got sick. My immune system has been super strong enough to withstand weeks of it going around my house. And I didn't get a fever like the rest of them.
Yeah.
I lost my voice, but it has been staying steadily as strong as possible.
Yeah.
So as entrepreneurs, we need to take care of our bodies. We're trying to create wealth for ourselves, for generations behind us. If we're not here to do that,
That's a problem.
what sense does that make? So we have to take care of ourselves. We have to consume the right foods.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about probiotics, we're talking about the good bacteria, right? So our gut, we want the good bacteria. There are trillions of bacteria in our gut, and we want it to be predominantly good bacteria, not the bad bacteria.
Yeah.
So when we're eating, we want to consume foods that are going to allow those good bacteria to thrive and continue to live and to not die off. So we want to be consuming predominantly plant-based foods. This does not mean you need to be a vegan, but you need to be consuming predominantly plant-based foods that are rich in fiber, rich in vitamins, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds that are going to feed those good bacteria so that they can live. And if you are someone who were to need support, extra probiotics, so that's where supplementation or even probiotics within foods would come in. And so we would look at fermented foods. And when we're talking about fermented foods, I know we always think of yogurt, but yogurt doesn't really have that many of the probiotics. We're looking for variety.
So that's a myth then to eat the yogurt.
It can help with maintaining your probiotic levels, but you got to find the right yogurt because oftentimes they are high in sugar. They have other ingredients that we do not need. That's kind of going against what we're trying to do. So yogurt can be one, but kimchi is another that people go to. In my culture, we have pickles, which is a good probiotic. So that fermented food has a variety of probiotics in there, which are going to help replenish what you may have lost through antibiotics, medication, birth control, COVID, any kind of viral infection that may have damaged your gut.
Wow. Okay. So one of the things we talk about, because I'm a vegetarian,
Yes,
25 years, I call myself a vegetarian. And, vegetarian is in between vegetarian and vegan.
Right.
But one of the things we talked about in the interview was the plate method.
Yes.
So, because I like to give people solutions.
Yeah.
And not just a whole lot of information, but let's give you some practical solutions that you can start implementing. So tell us how, as an entrepreneur, we can implement the plate method into our lifestyle.
Absolutely. So the plate method allows you to be able to consume predominantly plant-based foods without having to weigh your food, count your calories. It took over from what the food guide pyramid used to be, if you guys remember years before.
Yeah, you're talking about the food pyramid, right?
The pyramid, where people were
I think-
confused, like, how
Yeah, I
much
think
should I
that was a
actually
big joke. I was like, pyramid, okay.
So the plate method basically says that half your plate should be predominantly non-starchy vegetables or fruits. So that's your preference or disease condition. Meaning, if you're a diabetic, you may not want to make half your plate all fruits if the fruits are fruits that will spike your blood sugar. But predominantly non-starchy vegetables will go on the side of the plate. So we're talking about eggplant, we're talking about bell peppers, zucchini, squash. We're talking about garlic, onions. We're talking about all these non-starchy vegetables. Now, the other side of your plate, a quarter of it will be where your starch would actually go. We don't want to eliminate starches because they do have nutrients in them that are great for our gut health, our overall health, that we won't find a lot of in just the non-starches. So I'm talking about your quinoa. I'm talking about your rice, brown or white. I'm talking about your pastas. I'm talking about your root vegetables, your sweet potatoes, your regular potatoes, your yams. All of those tubers can go in that section. And the other side, the other quarter of your plate would be where your meat would go. If you are a meat eater, I know you're not, but if you are a meat eater,
I eat the meat of the potato. Or the meat of the eggplant.
The meat of the eggplant. Okay. So we're talking about actual animal products. If you are an animal eater, that's where your fish, your chicken, your beef would go, preferably the leaner meats, because we want to consume less saturated fats when we're consuming our meats. But if you are completely vegan, or if you are a vegetarian, flexitarian, and sometimes you just want to go all plant-based, that quarter of your plate would be where you put your lentils, your beans, so any of the rich proteins that we find in our plant-based foods.
Wow, okay, good. So we have about 5-6 more minutes. I want to shift the conversation a little bit to AI.
Okay.
Because I'm one that feels if you're not incorporating AI into your business, your lifestyle,
Yeah.
and your whole overall workflow, then you're hustling backwards. Because we're going now from kind of like back in the late 1800s, early 1900s,
Yeah.
when it went from the horse and buggy age
Uh-huh.
to the motor car vehicle age.
Yeah.
That's where we are now with AI.
Wow.
So now let's put that into perspective.
Yeah.
So back in, say, the late 1800s, it would take a full day to travel 30 to 40 miles. A full day, right?
That's a long time.
Let's just process that, right? So to go from downtown Atlanta to Stone Mountain, which is about 20 miles, and then if you're going, say, 10 miles past that, say you're going to like Grayson or what's some Bruford or some of those other places,
Lawrenceville.
it took a whole day.
That's a long time.
Can you imagine that?
No.
That's wild. So that's where we are now, going from where we are now to the world of AI. So I just wanted to put that into perspective. So if you're not incorporating AI into your workflow, your lifestyle, your business as an entrepreneur, then you're hustling backwards. So how are you incorporating AI into your business?
I just started about 6 months ago incorporating AI. But after speaking to you and Lex, I feel like I'm way behind. I need to catch up. So one of the I create a lot of therapies.
Okay.
Person-specific therapies for my patients. I do blood tests to find out what foods are their best foods, what foods are their worst foods. And then I give them suggestions on how to create meal plans. So I used to do a lot of that by hand, based on my knowledge and expertise. But now I've incorporated AI into helping me, which has made it really, really easy to get through it faster than I used to, as opposed to the days of working on it.
Good.
On the therapy.
So other than Chat GPT, because we all know that platform, what are some other AI tools or apps that you're using?
That is the only one. I don't know.
Okay.
That's where your that's where
So,
you come in.
so and you know, ChatGPT is a good starting tool to use, but I often suggest, you know, as you're learning about AI tools, incorporate a new tool that you're going to use for the week. You know what I'm saying? So I would challenge you to maybe incorporate like Notebook LM
Okay.
into your lifestyle, your workflow, your business for the week. So start using Notebook LM
Yes.
because you can do some amazing things with it and just kind of get acquainted with it. You know, don't try to go over the top with it. Just, you know, sit with it for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you get frustrated, stop.
Yeah, you did
You
introduce
know,
me to that.
yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
So
But it looks interesting. I will
yeah,
do that. Yeah.
definitely. So that's one tool. So in closing, like, how can people get in touch with you? What's your social media, your website, things
Yes.
like that?
People can find me on Instagram. I am Black Nutritionist Mama.
So
And
that's Black Nutritionist Mama. So that's at Black Nutritionist Mama.
yes, that is
Okay.
correct. And my name is Joanne Fillman. Last name is F as in Frank, ILEMON. So joannefillman.com, JOHANEFILEMON.com. You can find me there as well. I do have a QR code for people who are here today to get some discount off my services if
Okay.
they would like to.
So what's the
better
QR
their health.
code? You have it on the
I have
poster?
it. Yes, I
You want to
do.
bring the poster up real
I
quick?
have it. Yep. It's
Yeah.
it's on the one in the bags.
Yeah. So we can have the people get, you know, a discount because
Yes.
thank you. So there
That's
you
it
are.
right there.
Uh-huh.
So
So
this
the
is
QR,
it.
go ahead.
So this is the QR code for you to get a discount on my services. If you are interested in bettering your gut health, your overall health, it's basically living a long life without disease.
Mhm. Awesome. So we want to thank you, Joanne. Thank you for coming out
Thank you for having
to
me.
the podcast stage here at the Atlanta Black Expo 2025. Y'all keep it locked. We got more people coming up. Yeah, we got some amazing people coming up that's going to talk about AI, talk about social media marketing, all kind of stuff. So stay tuned. Atlanta Expo.